protecting our sworn men and women who are on the front lines and who are exposed. I want to thank them for all their hard work. I want to thank all my commissioners, all 5 of them, each and every one of them, who have been in constant communication with me, allowing me to serve as mayor of this wonderful city remotely. Their support, their ideas, their coming together has been incredibly invaluable, not just to me, but to all the residents of the city of Miami. And I am eternally grateful to each one of them for their calls. I want to thank all our residents, each and every one of them who sent me messages through all the different mediums, through Twitter, through Instagram, the emails, the text messages. All of them kept me going, kept me upbeat throughout this entire process. Today, we are doing this press conference on a different format, and I want to thank all the members of the media who collaborated with us and who are collaborating with us today. I know many of you expressed concerns throughout these days as to how press conferences were being held. So this is our best attempt to try to abide by social distancing norms and to abide by the stay-at-home restrictions that we put in as a city. And so I want to thank you again for your patience throughout this process. I want to thank our citizens for being unified with us. We will, like Pitbull said in his song, we will win. We will beat COVID-19 together as a community. And that's why, with the support of the commission, I have been proactive from the very first moment in canceling large events. We're the first city in America to cancel large events such as Ultra and Calle. Some in this community criticized us and said that we're acting prematurely. Later on, they followed us. We were probably the second city to issue a stay-at-home order, a shelter-in-place, and I want to thank our manager for collaborating with us and all the other community of cities for collaborating with us on that. We're the first city to implement a curfew, something that cities like Hialeah and Coral Gables have already followed suit. So we have led in this crisis. We have garnered statewide, national, and international attention for the decisions that we've made. And all the decisions that we've made have been supported by all the commissioners with a view of protecting our citizens first and foremost and above all. And so today we're going to be announcing the opening of a second test site in Hadley Park. This is a test site that's being manned by our own employees, and it's being staffed. And the kits that we're using were kits that we acquired that are costing $50 per examination. Hopefully will be FEMA reimbursable. And right now we're asking people to call 305-960-5050, 305-960-5050. Our protocol is that the people be symptomatic, and most of the people that we've tested are 65 and older, although I will say that at the new testing site, we should be testing people of all ages. And we also, I know we've tested in-home some people of all ages. So we're the city that's been most proactive in testing, in-home testing. And again, I want to thank our fire chief and our fire department for doing a magnificent job. Our medical director, who has been outstanding. And he has, him in conjunction with the health department, have guided me throughout this quarantine process, advising me. And he will be here, and he will be available to answer technical medical questions about my negative test scores and about the protocol going forward. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you. At the end of this, I will be signing, and actually I'll do it right now. I will be signing the third extension to our state of local emergency, and I'm going to be signing that at this very moment. This is our third extension of our state local emergency, which implements and maintains our emergency procedures. As many of you know, the stay-at-home requirements are still in place 24 hours. We have a curfew that begins at 10 p.m. every single day. Yesterday, my first day out of quarantine, I went to the Miami Panorama building to celebrate the beginning of the curfew with Pitbull's new song, I Believe That We Will Win. And the reason why we did that is because I believe that our city is going to come together and is coming together and is respecting our laws by and large. And we will beat COVID-19 as a community together by sacrificing, by being disciplined, and by coming together to work on making sure that this virus does not spread through our community. As you can imagine, I'm adjusting myself to a new normal. Yesterday, I got to see my wife and my kids for the first time and hug them and kiss them. But it's an adjustment. I went for a walk with them. I can see that people are adjusting to me being out, and I'm adjusting to being out. And with that comes adjustments in the way that I am. I'm obviously someone who is naturally a hugger and very affectionate, and I'm going to have to make those adjustments. So, bear with me, be patient with me, but understand that I was the second diagnosed case of coronavirus in this county, and I'm sort of the first public person that is coming out of it under the strictest CDC protocols. The CDC protocols have a non-testing procedure and a testing procedure, and we decided to go through the testing procedure, and I'll let Dr. Adams speak to that. So I just want my communications folks, I'm gonna say something in Spanish, and then we're gonna open it up for questions and also let Dr. Adams sort of walk you through this journey. Para mí, I guess we're going to go to Dr. Adams. Okay. Hey, Doc.
Hi, Mayor. How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you.
Good to see you back. We're glad to have you back at the helm.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you want to walk the community through your thought process, the protocols, the testing, and your thoughts on my ability to come back to work, infectious, my ability to infect, my ability to reinfect, things of that nature.
Well, I mean, I first got to know you after you tested positive after meeting some foreign dignitaries. And then the whole process of how we were going to reintegrate you back into the workforce came around. And so we tested you several times. One test came up still positive. And so sadly enough, you had to be secluded for a short time longer. I know it's difficult for you, as it's difficult for all of us to maintain social distance and to quarantine, especially since you have 2 young kids and a nice wife. And I know it's difficult. But you did a remarkable job. I mean, you kept your distance, and because you did that, because you quarantined, none of your staff members, none of the department heads, no one that you came in contact tested positive. And to me, that's a very good thing. That means that what we're hearing from the CDC, from what we're hearing from the president and vice president, from what we're hearing from Governor DeSantis and you, is that social distancing and quarantining does work. We need to let time for the virus to run its course. And if it has no host, it can't survive. And I agree with you and Pitbull, we will survive. We will come out on the end of this. We'll come out stronger. We'll come out healthier as a nation, and we will have learned things. So you in particular, after your short re-quarantining period, you were kind enough to let us do a few other tests on you. Some of the new cassette testing that has come out, the 15-minute rapid testing, you were kind enough to let us do on you, and then we retested you, and you had a equivocal finding. So back into quarantine you went for another couple of days, and I'm very happy to say on Sunday we tested you and the virus was not detected. On Monday we tested you and the virus was not detected. And so it's time for you to come back and do the job that you're sworn to do and that we all want you to do, and that's to lead our city.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm not sure if my media team wants me now to say a few words in Spanish. Okay. Estoy muy bendecido de anunciar que estoy libre de COVID-19. He estado en una cuarentena por 18 días. Fue muy difícil estar separado de mi familia, de mi esposa, de mis niños, y quiero agradecerles a ellos por su paciencia, por su amor y por siempre apoyarme. También quiero agradecer el trabajo del administrador de la ciudad de Miami, Art Noriega, que constantemente hablaba conmigo, discutía todos los pasos que teníamos que tomar como una ciudad para proteger a nuestros residentes. También quiero elogiar los esfuerzos del jefe de bomberos y rescate, que tomó pasos temprano, identificó esta amenaza hace meses y empezó a comprar equipaje para que nuestros bomberos podían proveer sus servicios sin contaminar a nuestros residentes y protegiendo a ellos y a nuestros residentes. Quiero agradecer el trabajo del jefe de la policía, Jorge Colina, que ha mantenido no solo los órdenes de quedarse en la casa, pero también he tenido que mantener lo que es un toque de queda que hemos impuesto a las 10 de la noche. Quiero agradecer enormemente los esfuerzos de todos los comisionados, todos los 5 comisionados. Cada uno me llamó constantemente, cada uno tuvo ideas para mejorar las condiciones para nuestros residentes. Cada uno estaba dispuesto a trabajar en unidad para mejorar estas condiciones en cuales estamos bajo en este momento. Quiero también anunciar hoy que vamos a tener un sitio nuevo de examinación en el parque de Harley, que está en la 13 Avenida y la 50 Calle. Todos los residentes pueden llamar al 305-960-5050, 305-960-5050, y nosotros les vamos a examinar en los hogares si son 65 años o mayor, o posiblemente indicar que deben de ir al sitio del parque de Harley para que se pueden examinar. Quiero también anunciar que he firmado mi tercera extensión de lo que es la declaración de emergencia para mantenernos en una orden de quedarse en sus hogares y también en un toque de queda. Quiero también decir que nosotros estamos unidos como una ciudad y, como dijo el artista Pitbull, sabemos que vamos a vencer esta enfermedad, pero lo vamos a vencer disciplinándonos, y yo todavía me estoy acostumbrando, y por eso es importante tener en esta conferencia de prensa el médico director de nuestra ciudad, que me ha supervisado en todos los días de cuarentena, incluyendo en cual yo tuve que examinar en otras ocasiones positivo e inconcluso, y tuve que mantenerme en cuarentena. Estuve en cuarentena por 18 días y por fin pude salir cuando examiné negativo 2 días seguidos, indicando que no tengo el virus en mi sistema. Así que muy agradecido. My mom. Estoy muy agradecido por la oportunidad de estar aquí con ustedes en esta conferencia de prensa digital. Quiero agradecer a todos los miembros de la prensa que también y equipos también de la ciudad de Miami de comunicación que han hecho esto posible. Nosotros hemos escuchado las preocupaciones de los miembros de la prensa para observar lo que es la distancia social y respetar a sus habilidades de respetar su habilidad de distanciarse. Así que para mí es un gran privilegio poder comunicar con todos ustedes cuando empezamos las preguntas. So, Stephanie, do you want to start with the questions? Okay. The first person is Sabrina Aponte, Channel 4.
Sabrina is not a panelist right now.
Okay, Vanessa Morales, Channel 6. Yeah, I see her name, but she's not. So, okay, Steve Litz. Can we find Steve Litz? Okay, I know I saw Ana Cuervo.
I have a question.
Hey.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead, Ana.
Alcalde, sus restricciones han sido más estrictas que las del condado. ¿Esto tiene algo que ver con el hecho de que tuvo el coronavirus con síntomas muy leves, que quizás muchas personas si les pasa lo mismo, no se den cuenta y pueden contagiar a otros. ¿Su experiencia ha tenido algo que ver con las restricciones que ha impuesto en la ciudad de Miami?
Sin duda que mi experiencia me han guiado en la amenaza que enfrentamos. El hecho de que yo que tuve
I think you have to release mute.
I'm not on mute on my end. Can you hear me, Ana?
Yes, I could hear you perfectly.
Okay.
But yeah, it kind of has to start over now.
Okay. Mis síntomas, sin duda, me han motivado a actuar agresivamente para proteger a mis residentes. El hecho de que yo tuve síntomas muy leves indican que personas como yo pueden contagiar a cientos, si no miles de personas. Y yo he visto varias estadísticas que comprueban eso. También, desde el primer momento, desde que empezamos, nosotros nos hemos comprometido con el pueblo de Miami a hacer todo lo posible para protegerlo, incluyendo tomando decisiones muy controversiales, como cancelar a Ultra y cancelar a la calle, Festival de Calle 8, algo que en un momento miembros de esta comunidad me criticaron como premaduro y dijeron que era el mensaje incorrecto de mandar, que Miami estaba abierto. Y después obviamente vimos cómo los muchachitos vinieron y desafortunadamente escucharon ese mensaje, vinieron aquí a festejar y desafortunadamente se tuvieron que cerrar las playas y fue un debacle nacional en cual nos criticaron.
Otra pregunta, acaban de decidir suspender las inspecciones de construcción, mientras que a nivel del condado siguen los proyectos de construcción. ¿Creen que eso se debe suspender en toda la región del sur de la Florida, lo que es la construcción a lo largo?
Nosotros tenemos la habilidad bajo el orden condal de implementar restricciones más estrictas y nosotros hemos hecho eso en diferentes momentos en cual pensamos que es lo mejor para proteger a los residentes y a los empleados, y esto es un ejemplo de eso.
¿Le preocupa el impacto económico en cuanto a trabajadores de construcción que no tienen otra forma de darle de comer a sus familias?
Yo estoy preocupado en este momento que mañana es el 1 de abril, en cual los residentes van a tener que pagar las rentas y las hipotecas. Yo le he pedido al gobernador que suspende las rentas y las hipotecas por lo menos 60 días hasta que nosotros podemos abordar de esta crisis. Desafortunadamente eso no ha sucedido, pero lo que sí ha sucedido es el estímulo federal que va a proveer hasta $850 a la semana para personas que están en desempleo, y también he comunicado con FPL, me han indicado que no van a cortar la electricidad, AT&T, que me han indicado que no van a cortar ni servicio celular, ni servicio de cable, o sea, de internet, y también Verizon, que me ha indicado lo mismo. Así que, y también la ciudad de Miami ha otorgado $2 millones, y quiero de nuevo elogiar el esfuerzo de todos los comisionados, $2 millones para darle comida a las personas mayores y también a las personas necesitadas en nuestra comunidad.
Perdón, ¿considera los proyectos de construcción un peligro en la comunidad, un peligro de contagio?
Ana, I got to go to the next person because we have a format. Christina Vasquez, Boomer.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly, and I see you now.
Perfect. Okay, great, fantastic. For my mobile car office. Actually had a question for Dr. Adams. You know, one thing that we're getting a lot of questions of from viewers is in terms of, with really the Miami mayor being referenced as one of the most famous cases, as one viewer said, of recovered cases. And folks wanting to know why we're not seeing more data on recovered cases. State health officials had explained that they're just not at that process. And maybe your background and experience, you can provide some extra clarification about, you know, what is defined as a recovered case, and when do we think in our community we'll start being able to get to a point where we can share that kind of data with the public?
I think the reason that we haven't seen some of that data is we're still early on in the illness, and this is uncharted water for all of us. whether it be treatments, whether it be testing, how to set up testing sites. I think everybody is trying to do the best we can. I think the most encouraging thing is for the mayor to tell his story, because we hear about the deaths, but we never hear about, like you mentioned, the people who are recovering. And the mayor did well. He had some small upper respiratory symptoms. He isolated himself. His kids never became infected. His wife never became infected. And the illness went on to run its course. And I think that's the take-home message, is we will overcome. Most people won't get sick except for mild symptoms. And if you get moderate symptoms, you get short of breath, you have conversational dyspnea, you feel like you can't breathe or there's water in your lungs, and certainly reach out to your physicians and or call for help or your local hospitals. But I think that it's important for him to tell his story. We want to see healthy people, because at the end, we want an end. We want to see that we're going to recover. We want an end in sight, whether it be April 16th or April 30th. Sure that the date makes a difference. We all like an end. We all like something to look forward to. I think that's what's important to me about the mayor's story, is he followed simple quarantine procedures and socialization procedures and self-distancing procedures, and he did well, and he didn't affect anybody else. And now he's cured. He doesn't test positive. He's had 2 negative tests. He can interact with people, still minding, social distancing. The other day I was at a meeting and there were 8 of us and we were way too close. And the fire chief came up and said, hey, remember, we need to keep our space. We want to make sure that the virus doesn't have any hosts. And so I think that's the key take home, is it's very difficult, especially, in South Florida and the Latin culture in general, not to embrace somebody or to shake a hand. And we have to make some cultural changes, at least in the short term.
And Mayor Suarez, thank you very much, by the way. And Mayor Suarez, one more just point of clarification. That second testing site, that you were referring to Charles Hadley Park, correct? And then does it still remain over 65 displaying symptoms as one of the criteria to getting tested there?
So I've been told now it's 55. My recommendation, and I know my people on my fire department will probably get nervous when I say this, is that anyone should call the 305-960-5050 number. I know that we've tested people that are under 65, and I'm sure that it's probably based on supply and demand and what we have available. But I think our objective is to test as many people as we possibly can, and make it as ubiquitous in terms of availability as possible.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next person. Dorcer Alvarado. Doricel.
Alcalde. Hola, alcalde, ¿cómo está?
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. ¿Cómo se siente?
Muy bien.
Qué bueno. Alcalde, en primer lugar quisiera, para que nos reforzara el tema de la construcción, esta medida que se ha informado sobre la parte de la construcción, y quería saber si tenía algunos números de los adultos mayores que ya han asistido al programa de los bomberos que va casa a casa. ¿Cuántos hasta ahora han sido atendidos? Si tiene esos datos.
Yo lo que sí sé es que hemos hecho aproximadamente un poco más de 100 al día. Lo hemos estado haciendo por varios días, así que me imagino que es 300 o 400, pero no estoy 100% seguro. Te podemos conseguir esa información después.
Ok. Y el tema de la construcción, alcalde, digamos que abarca esta nueva medida con el tema de la construcción en la ciudad.
Hemos suspendido lo que son las inspecciones de personas yendo a los sitios de construcción, y eso es una medida que nosotros implementamos para proteger no solo a nuestros empleados, pero también a los trabajadores.
Okay.
Okay. Next person is, I think, Steve, you're on there. Steve Litz, I think I see you. Unmute yourself, buddy. All right, you have to be unmuted. Just give me a second.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think we're good.
Yeah, here you go. Hey, Mayor, glad you're back and feeling better.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, sir. Hey, 2 questions. One is for Dr. Adams, in the sense that we've seen it on the national news. Cities are expecting a spike in about a week from now. Are we expecting a spike here kind of along that same time frame? And then a question for you, Mayor, is with respect, I think Anna touched on it in Espanol, but with respect to the economy, the local impact, can you elaborate for us on that? And can any of these small businesses in town or Miamians expect some sort of subsidy from the local government? Thank you, Mayor.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry, Dr. Adams.
I think that we will see a spike. The big question is what that spike will be. And I'm hoping it's not nearly what New York is seeing because we're practicing good quarantine and social distancing procedures. But we will see a spike. And if the disease follows its normal process at around day 7, people will get more shorter breath and then start to present to the hospital. And we're keeping a close eye on hospital availability, ventilator capability. We're looking at building out, should we need tent hospitals and facilities to care for other people, should we have a huge influx of people. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping the weather plays into our favor, and just know that we are making plans, including having plenty of ventilators, hospital beds, ICU beds, and trained nursing and RT staff on hand.
Doctor, those materials are on hand now, sir, with respect to the ventilators?
We do have ventilators. Every hospital is contacted every other day to see what they have as far as ICU availability and ventilator capability. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And Steve, on the economic front, obviously I'm concerned that tomorrow's April 1st, where people are going to be having to pay their mortgages and their rents. I've joined the Florida Urban Partners, which is a collaboration of mayors from Florida, Tampa, Jacksonville, St. Pete, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Hialeah, to urge the governor to suspend mortgages and rent payments for 30 days, 60 days, until we can get a better handle on how long this is going to affect our community. In the meantime, we obviously have the stimulus plan, which hopefully will hit as quickly as possible. And that should put, I've been told, somewhere in the vicinity of $850 a week in people's pockets who are qualified and who are eligible if they're on unemployment. We also have assurances from AT&T, Verizon, that they will not cut cell phone service or internet during this time, and FP&L, that they will not cut off electricity. The big concern that I have as mayor is just making sure people have enough money to eat and being fed. And so I'm really proud of our commission, in a special commission meeting, the first ever virtual commission meeting, allocating $2 million, $1 million for elderly meals and $1 million for residents that are below the poverty line, that fit within our poverty criteria, to make sure that they can be fed throughout this crisis. That's one of the biggest things. And I also want to thank so many members of our community that are doing this on a volunteer basis. Next one. Thank you. Next, we've got Vanessa Morales. Are you still there? Doug Hanks.
Hi, thanks so much, Mayor. Right now, you're the biggest city in Miami-Dade County. What are you asking for from the county in terms of resources, messaging, help, or anything that you need from Miami-Dade?
The biggest thing I think we need is consistency of message and consistency of rules. Obviously, I know it's impossible to be completely coherent at all times, but we have led, and the county has followed on just about everything. We're the first ones to cancel large events. The county followed. We're the first ones to put stay-at-home orders in place. They, just finally put a stay-for-at-home order, and we all have implemented a curfew. They have not done that. I think it would be helpful if they did, because it creates confusion. We have Hialeah, like I said, that has a curfew. Coral Gables has a curfew. Miami Beach, I believe, has a curfew. At least they asked us for a curfew because they wanted to implement a curfew. So it would be easier if it were implemented, all around, rather than, a week from now it being implemented. I think the faster that we implement it, the better that it is for our residents, and the less confusing that it is for our residents. We collaborated with the county on the Marlins testing site, and that's been a collaboration that we've done with them, and we'll continue to collaborate with them, on matters that are in the benefit of our residents. And at the same time, we also will not hesitate, as the county order allows, for us to implement stricter restrictions where we feel it's necessary. Thank you, Doug. Going to, I think, Billy Corbin. Not sure if he's on. Billy? Hey.
Good morning.
I see you. Yeah, I hear you. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations on your recovery. Happy that you and your family are healthy.
Thank you.
Dr. Adams said that none of the people that you came into contact with tested positive. I'm hearing reports that after you were exposed to COVID-19 in your meeting with the Brazilian delegation, that you were at the Green Spoon Martyr Miami Brickell office, and at least 7 to 9 employees there initially exhibited symptoms consistent with coronavirus. 3 continued with serious symptoms, and at least 1 went to the hospital. All who wanted were apparently denied tests in the time that you've had 3. Is this information accurate as you understand it? And has Dr. Adams tested anyone from the law office who may have been exposed?
I'm not aware of anyone from the law office that was either exposed or that tested or that has been hospitalized. So all the information, as you've asked that question, I'm not aware of any of that. And I think I would be aware of it. I think they would have told me, but I'm not aware of that. The only thing I'm aware of is that there were decontamination protocol, I believe, was implemented, and that's it. And that many employees went home. That's all I know.
And has Dr. Adams tested anyone at Green Spoon Martyr?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't believe so. Doctor, I don't think you've tested anyone from my law firm, right?
No, sir, I have not. I mean, everyone that I know of that you came into close contact with is all tested negative. Your close staff here in the mayor's office, your departmental leaders, some meetings with people that you had that day. Everyone that I know of that you had any intimate contact with tested negative. And that's very reassuring to me. You know, the virus is only going to be transmitted if you have close contact. The CDC says for over 15 minutes. And so it needs time to jump from one host to the next. And so I think we've done a fairly good job of testing anybody that you might have come into contact with to ensure their health.
Al Crespo. Al? No? Okay, guys, thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. This was a very interesting exercise, and I thank you all for being patient and allowing us. Is there anybody, did we miss anybody? Paul? Shishanto? Huh?
Can I speak in one follow-up in Spanish real quick?
Yes, go ahead, we might as well. Yeah.
Gracias. What you mentioned about the consistency, the lack of consistency, la falta de consistencia, que no hay toque de queda en el condado Miami-Dade. Ayer el alcalde Carlos Jiménez dijo que no quería agotar lo que es la fuerza policial para ese esfuerzo porque no cree que es necesario. Hablando de la fuerza policial, tengo entendido que hay como 24 agentes de la policía de Miami que están en aislamiento debido a posible contagio. ¿Le preocupa que no hay suficientes agentes de la policía para enforzar algunas de estas medidas en la ciudad de Miami?
No, no me preocupa y te digo porque anoche estábamos el tercer día con toque de queda, la tercera noche, y yo fui anoche y te puedo decir que una gran proporción de los residentes de la ciudad de Miami lo están respetando y es el shift de la noche. Y pues nada, teníamos más que suficientes policías. El jefe de la policía está haciendo una labor increíble en asegurar que que estamos protegiendo a nuestros policías, pero a la misma vez tenemos suficiente para patrullar en nuestros vecindarios. Yo me recuerdo que el comisionado Alex Laportilla le preguntó precisamente eso durante la sesión virtual de la comisión y el jefe de policía indicó que va a haber más que suficientes policías para proteger a nuestros residentes y enforzar.
¿Y qué están haciendo para velar sobre los tantos ancianos que viven en los edificios de bajos recursos para las personas mayores que quizás, o sea, no pueden salir a comprar cosas, no pueden recibir visitas y pueden sentirse muy solos en estos momentos?
De nuevo, en la última sesión de la comisión especial, los comisionados unánimemente aprobaron $1 millón para proveer comida para personas mayores, algo que va a ser esencial para ellos durante estos tiempos difíciles. Deseamos que nadie tendrá hambre durante este tiempo en cual es más difícil salir de la casa y comprar, hacer compras y posiblemente el dinero es más escaso.
Gracias, alcalde.
Okay, I'm going to go to Paul, who I think is still on.
Hi, Mayor. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, perfect. What has your experience with this illness taught you about COVID-19 that you can now share with other cities and use in Miami's response? And can you describe the worst symptoms that you experienced?
What it's taught me is that you can be fairly asymptomatic and yet transfer it to people, right? In the sense that had I not been quarantined immediately as a result of the fact that I was in a group with someone who had tested positive and had the Florida Department of Health not reached out to me, I could have been out and potentially infecting other people. So that's one of the things that I learned. The other thing that I've learned in this whole entire process is I have not regretted for 1 second one of the aggressive actions that I've taken. Every time I've taken aggressive action, at the moment it may seem like it's too much, and later on I've been justified. And so it has actually given me courage and the impetus to continue to act aggressively to protect our residents. I think there was a second question.
Well, and what was the worst symptoms that you experienced?
I was very fortunate. Again, the worst symptoms that I experienced were some body pains at the beginning that I basically took Tylenol for. I had a congestion a couple of days. My body temperature never got to 100. So I was very fortunate. I got a very, very mild case.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.